Hello everyone, it's DuckFaden07. Today we are playing Glimpse combo and we are pairing that with Quintorius Kand combo, playing some Discover cards like Geological Appraiser, Trumpeting Carnosaur, Invasion of Alara and Clever Impersonator to copy our Discover cards. Okay, so basically with this build I'm hoping to do early Glimpse and then hit either Invasion of Alara or Quintorius Kand. Or Trumpeting Carnosaur, and then start doing some crazy stuff with it. Often try to win on spot with Quintorius Kand passive, and sometimes you just build a large enough board to overwhelm your opponent. Of course, sometimes with this build is not made to go infinite with Quintorius Kand like some other Quintorius Kand builds, but it can do a lot and it can often win a game on spot, as you will see in some of the games in this league. Sometimes it won't work out. You will do you will make a large board and then try to win on the next turn. But yeah, it's a bit complicated to explain it like this. You just have to see what happens when I play the deck and what else must be thought about. Like, okay, so in these slots I have Clever Impersonator. This card enters the battlefield as a copy of any card, so you can copy like Quintorius Kand, Geological Appraiser, Invasion of Alara, Trumpeting Carnosaur. Other card that is similar to this is Spark Double. Spark Double can actually copy creature or planeswalker, can't copy Invasion of Alara. That is why I choose to play Impersonator, but Spark Double can make a double copy of Quintorius Kand without dying, because it's not legendary. The copy is not legendary, so you can have two Quintorius or more Quintorius Kands on the field, which really accelerates the kill and makes things a bit easier. So I'm still thinking between Impersonator and a Spark Double. I'm not sure which one will I use in the end, but for now I'm using the Clever Impersonator. Okay, on the sideboard we can't have cards costing less than 5 mana because they interrupt the combo when you are going off. So we have Boseiju as Artifact Enchantment Hate. We got Gemstone Caverns, one in the main, one in the side, and I got Endurance. Endurance is okay because it often helps you continue looping when you do the multiple Discover abilities, and often you will have all your glimpses in the graveyard. And even once I even just discovered my entire deck and I didn't have anything else to cascade or discover into, and I needed just another single hit with Quintorius to win. And yeah, but Endurance is definitely a must play on the sideboard. You bring it in against matchups where you expect they will counter like 2 or 3 of your glimpses, and it's really necessary. And it's okay when doing loops. Sometimes you will cascade into it and not be able to continue, but it's like a necessary evil you have to have on the sideboard to sometimes have wins. And also it's a good graveyard hate, of course, against graveyard decks. Okay, so that is it. For you to understand better what's going on here, you'll just have to see the gameplay. Okay, so and I will start with this game. The league actually ended up 4-1. And I was really close to trophy. Last match I had a terrible hands, double mulligan to 5 and got grief scammed. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, so but here I was playing against Eldrazi build, and yeah, that is obviously pretty nice matchup for this deck. They do play often like chalices in the main, so I was hoping they don't have it. Opponent goes, they don't have Totnot luckily here. They were playing first, so they just went with a Reshaper, and I was able to just turn 3 go off. I wanted to show this game first because it was such a clean turn 3 combo kill, and I'm always hoping to find stuff like Quintorius Kand, Carnosaur or Invasion of Alara. Here I find Alara. With Alara I put a Shardless Agent to my hand, and immediately cascade with Apprentice. Apprentice is really cool because on turn 4 it's additional permanent that counts for glimpse, and here I started doing the thing. I have double Trumpeting Carnosaur. Quintorius Kand already did some damage, and I go for another glimpse, putting 2 Carnosaurs on the field, which an Invasion of Alara, which means 3 more cascade spells, and I float the mana, go for the make another Imperious Carnosaur, find a Quintorious and a Wavesifter, and here I continue doing Quintorius Kand loops. I go for the Shardless, do additional 2 damage, and then I go for Ardent Plea from my hand for one final glimpse, doing so much damage. And then I find of course another Quintorious from my deck, which then seals the deal and wins the game. Okay, so I have Quintorious, I have 2 Trumpeting Carnosaurs abilities on the stack, and it's enough for lethal. So very sweet turn 3 win here. Okay, very crazy. This deck can often go crazy like this. It's often better to wait until turn 4 to be more certain that you'll succeed comboing off, but when you have that what is Wavesifter on turn 2 making 2 artifacts, I think then it's totally fine to do it. Okay, so here I brought in some of my sideboard cards, Leyline of the Voids and Boseijus, cutting Khalni Garden, streaming on some cards like Appraiser, Impersonator, Wavesifter, Invasion of Alara. Opponent plays Shardless and Totnot Seer, so kind of a tough spot here, but I do have a Boseiju for Shardless, so it's not a problem. I have Geological Appraiser in hand, which means with 4 mana, I'm going for it definitely if I get the mana to go for the Appraiser. Opponent here plays the One Ring, and here I did a mistake. So again, turn 4, I'm going for the combo win. Okay, so here I go for the first glimpse. I find Binding, Plea and Alara, and then I go for another glimpse. I was thinking about doing or not doing the glimpse thing here, but I decided to go, yeah, I did it. Okay, so here I make another Khalni Garden token. I have Leyline Binding ability, so I have to consider like taking Totnot or One Ring. I decide, yeah, I guess the Modo is having problems dealing with this, showing the combo. But anyway, I had a choice here, and I decided to I made a wrong decision. Next discover I hit another glimpse, and then I had a decent one. I had 3 strong creatures and Clever Impersonator, which could copy the ring, but I didn't choose to copy the ring. I decided to copy the Quintorious. For another cascade, it ended up poorly, so it didn't work out in this game, but I got the win in the next game. If I just keep my board, I had 3 big creatures, and also 3 big creatures plus 1 ring on the field. I think it was great situation. I think Modo is having problems going through this. Okay, so here this game is example of going for a slower kill. I don't have my Wavesifter here. I decide to just play the Binding. Binding is also cool in the Glimpse deck. It's another permanent that counts for your Glimpse, so it works pretty well here. Opponent has the Totnot Seer, so they take one of my Pleas. I wanted to wait another turn to go for Plea. For Plea, sorry. I learned it wrong when I was a kid, so always just say Plea, although I know it's Plea. Okay, I go for Ardent Plea there and do the glimpse. 5 permanents on the field is a lot. And here I do Trumpeting Carnosaur, getting the Quintorius Kand. And unfortunately, the second Trumpeting Discover also hits Quintorius. But it's fine, I did 4 damage and I also discovered with Quintorius for additional 2 damage, gaining 7 life. And now I have 2 Trumpeting Carnosaurs and Shardless plus Quintorius on the field. That's pretty decent. Opponent plays another Totnot. I of course make a token with Quintorius. This is a large board, a lot of decks would struggle to deal with this. So I attack for 8, putting my opponent on 8 life there. Passing the turn, holding the Boseiju. When opponent cracks the Mindstone, I take their Eldrazi Temple in case they have that 7 mana. Each player sacrifices all colorless permanents. I was afraid of that spell the most. So I take their Eldrazi Temple so they can't play that. And they go for a 3rd Totnot Sphere, which is actually... Yeah, I actually have like lethal on the board. Okay, so I can even just deal 3 damage to any Totnot to trample over Totnot, but it's not necessary. I have like lethal either way. Here I trample 6 damage and Shardless Agent deals 2 more, so that is the game. And a nice example of winning for a fair, with a fair cascade. Okay, so that's it. Pretty cool wins here. Let's check out how the other matches went. Okay, so this was the first match actually. I started off with that one because it was a bit crazy. Okay, here I was playing against Amulet Titan. My opponent... Opponent started well. They had Mycosid Gardens and copied the amulets, so 2 amulets on their side, but I guess they kept a double amulet hand without a bounce land, which was good for me. Okay, here I go for the Wavesifter, making clue tokens, and I top deck a Shardless Agent. I was initially hoping to go for the Geological Appraiser, didn't work out. And I went for Shardless Agent, and yeah, it was a mediocre, pretty, I would say, bad cascade. But yeah, opponent, sometimes that happens, opponent just didn't have a bounce land. They probably had a perfect hand without bounce land and they were just hoping to get the bounce land. It didn't happen for them, so I was able to, I had some time, so I was able to attack them for 10 damage and then do some Quintorius Kand abilities. Here go for a glimpse, copy their amulets, make a lot of mana. This means I can just play again Trumpeting Carnosaur from my hand to do more of this. So now I basically become amulet. So I have gained a lot of mana this way. I can play multiple spells from my hand, and I got 2 more Invasion of Alara abilities. So I float my entire mana, go for another ability, copy the Invasion of Alara again, go for the Geological Appraiser to make my board even bigger, and now I definitely have a kill. So I find Quintorius Kand. Again, I find Amulet and Trumpeting Carnosaur, and yeah, I can play a bunch of cascading from my deck to do the kill immediately, and opponent concedes. I mean, I have the kill immediately, so have a bunch of these abilities and opponent concedes. Let's check out the game 2. I don't have that great sideboard for this matchup, but I do have Leyline Bindings and I do have a Boseijus. So let's check out what did I remove for them, like a couple of lands and Wavesifters, one Impersonator, one Appraiser. You could potentially like bring in Solitude, but I don't like that move. Okay, so here in the game 2, my plan was like either use Boseiju or Leyline to slow them down, and then try to do like a Shardless on turn 4, try to go for the kill. Okay, here opponent has double Urza Saga plus Amulet, so I can't do much. I decide to go for the Xander Lounge and Sacred Foundry, take one of their amulets and see if that is enough to slow them down. Then they sacrifice the Saga. Again, similar to game 1, again they have a double amulet and even the third one on their next turn. So I already take 2 bindings here. And opponent still searching for bounce land, similar to the last game. And here I go for Shardless Agent, finding a Quintorius Kand. Okay, I float 3 mana here, and I go for the Geological Appraiser, start draining life, and go for another Glimpse. I have 3 mana in my mana pool, which means I can potentially cast other cards from my hand. And here now I have 6 mana. I can go for the Carnosaur or Invasion of Alara from my hand. Not Invasion, but I can go for the Carnosaur definitely. And here I copy the amulet and have a Invasion of Alara ability and the Carnosaur ability, and my opponent didn't. I think I would go off definitely, just being able to hard cast Carnosaur from my hand. I think that would be too much for, and I think I would be able to win. But the opponent scoops it up, didn't want to sit through it, so that was the game. Okay, so let's check out match 3, sorry, it's actually match 3. Okay, so in the match 3, I was playing first, and I had mediocre hand, just like Survey Land and the Khalni Garden and the Shardless Agent. Like, Survey Lands are really huge upgrade for this deck, because you actually shuffle them into your deck with the Glimpse, and then you can use them again, and then you shuffle them and then you can use them again. It sometimes can be very, very useful, because they get shuffled in library and can be fetched again, which is like very, very cool. Okay, so I had some options here. I decided not to go for the combo this turn. Opponent plays Thoughtseize, but I have a double Cascade spell, so I go for the Geological Appraiser here. Geological Appraiser is even better here because it allows me to go for one more permanent, because it counts itself. It's not like a Cascade spell. It enters the battlefield, and then on ATB it lets you cast the spell, so it's one more permanent on the field for the Glimpse. And here is example how you can brick with Glimpse. I just glimpsed into 5 lands and the Shardless, and yeah, the combo stopped and I lost this game. I had Quintorious in hand to go for it again, but I missed a couple of life to do it. So that was a win by my opponent. I lost to this same matchup in the trophy match, but I had much worse hands. Okay, so let's check out. It's the Dimir scam. The one, I think this one was a bit different from that other one, and that other one was like from the Magic exact list from the Magic 8's video. Okay, so here I boarded in 1 Endurance this time, just a single one, and 1 Boseiju against instead of second Caverns, and then a couple of Solitudes to be able to deal with their creatures when doing the loops. I wasn't sure if they're playing that shadow or not, so that was the reason why I brought in just 2. I think for a third match I brought in all 4, not sure, we'll have to see. Okay, here I do a Glimpse. I get like a decent board, but it wasn't enough. But I did gain some life, it was good, and I find another cascade spell from the top to go for it immediately. Now my board is larger, and here I go again for it. Turn 5 I find Quintorious and the Carnosaur, which like gives me in a lot of fuel to go for it again. And my opponent concedes on the spot. Like, even if I don't do anything else, I can just very easily win with this board. So yeah, opponent concedes. That is the game. Let's check out game 3. Yeah, as I said, in the game 3 I brought in all 4 Solitudes. In game 2 I didn't see the shadow, so I didn't want to bring in all 4, but yeah, I brought in all 4 in the last game. Like, Solitude is just so good against shadow decks. And yeah, opponent goes for Totsis here. My hand was very medium here, didn't have much, very slow, but it's okay to be slow against decks like this. I can just suspend the Glimpse on 2, and I can also often win with just hard casting. Quintorius Kand, a lot of like plan Bs and plan Cs in this deck. You can win with just hard casting the Shardless into Glimpse. You can also just go for the 4 mana cascade guy, what is it called, or just play the hard card, the Quintorious, and win with Quintorious. Okay, so definitely there are options. Okay, here I go for just patiently waiting. My opponent is not doing much, so I'm not in a hurry. Opponent plays Stalker and then Grief. Takes away my Quintorious, but that is fine. I can just do the surveilling thing and try to either wait for the Glimpse to resolve, or just find another cascade spell. Here I make a token with Khalni Garden. My opponent plays another Stalker. And I do very medium like Glimpse here, but I do find a Geological Appraiser to go for it next turn. And I will have exactly 4 mana, so it's looking good. Okay, so I go for it again on my turn. Tap 4 mana, play Apprentice. And Modo just has some problems, like playing out this one, playing the combo. Okay, so I go for the Appraiser here, go for the Shardless, go for the Glimpse. I get 2 Trumpeting Carnosaurs and the Solitude and the Invasion of Alara, and I don't basically need anything else to win this game. This is more than enough, but I decide to go for another Glimpse since I had so many permanents, and I find this time Quintorious and the Carnosaur and another Invasion, so I can probably do, yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 abilities on the stack, which is a total of 10 damage when Quintorious on the field, which is lethal. So that is it. Okay, so yeah, got that one, and that is the match. Okay, let's check out another win. Okay, so here now I played second. I keep a decent hand. I have Ardent Plea, I have Geological Apprentice, so two cascade spells, and I also have a Carnosaur which can be used as a removal. Okay, I was obviously my opponent plays black-white survey land. This mostly means they're on Gorios, and they also went like Grief Ephemerate, taking both of my cascade spells. It is. I think this is like playing against the Grief Scam is okay if they don't have a follow-up. So here I decide to play the Alexander's Lounge, let them take whatever. I didn't want to surveil before they resolve the Ephemerate. Okay, so now they go for a Tainted Indulgence and pass the turn. So no big pressure for them, no creature in the graveyard. So I also get to kill the Grief with the Carnosaur ability. So basically now I have 2 turns until I can go Invasion of Alara. And opponent keeps digging and they find a Grizzlebrand, put them in the graveyard, go for Falagi, and now they're trying to find Gorios, only 2 cards in their hand. Okay, so I was, as I said, I went for Invasion of Alara and go for the Glimpse, put Shardless Agent into my hand for next turn. I only thing I could copy with Impersonator was Archaeologist, so not really a good turn for me. It was basically kind of wasted turn. Didn't do much, but I did got some permanents on the field. Okay, and I have 2 Shardless for the next turn. So unfortunately, it didn't work out this time. You could see, like in multiple games where it just goes well and you do the thing, and but yeah, this time the Invasion of Alara and the Glimpse failed, although I had plenty of permanents. But I got another Shardless in my hand and I was able to try to go for it again. First I decide to go for the combat. I go for the combat. Yeah, the Modo doesn't show it till the end, but I went for the combat here, attacked them for 5, I went for the Shardless Agent and did the thing. Unfortunately, Model just blocked and ended this game, doesn't want to show it until the end, but okay. Okay, so here we go watch the second win, and here is also the sideboarding plan for this matchup. I trimmed on some cards like 1 Appraiser, 1 Alara, 2 Wavesifters, 2 Impersonators. Of course I bring in the Endurance. Endurance is it's a good card. They probably play some counter magic, so it's good in longer games when you need to shuffle your Glimpse into your library, and also it's great against them when they try to reanimate, of course. Okay, so here I go for the Wavesifter. I have to go for the Wavesifter, create some permanents so my cascade spell becomes better, like this. Unfortunately, I don't have more green spells in my head other than Shardless Agent. Okay, so here I go for the tapped Breeding Pool and pass the turn. I decide to take their Falagi, not let them mill more and dig more. And here I pass in the turn, holding the Endurance. My opponent goes for the Gorios. This means I have to use Endurance Pitchcast. I get rid of my Shardless Agent. I try to draw a card first, try to find another green card. I didn't get it, so I Pitchcast, I exile my Cascader and pass the turn. So now I also find Ardent Plea. I can't wait for the Quintorius Kand, and I decided to do so. Like go for a bigger Glimpse. Try to like just immediately win by casting Glimpse. So I decided not to go for Ardent Plea this turn, although I did have plenty of permanents here. I decided to graveyard my Khalni Garden and go for a land, play Quintorious and try to win immediately. Okay, so I go for it. Even if my opponent had some discard on their turn, I still have 2 like cascade spells, so it's fine. I go immediately find Glimpse, so opponent in response goes for Mending, graveyards the Atraxa, and I have plenty of permanents, like 8 permanents, that is a lot. I find another Quintorius, Carnosaur, Invasion of Alara, a Binding and Endurance. Unfortunately, like Binding maybe wasn't a right choice here. for this matchup. I find binding, and yeah, I have to like take the Fallaji. I don't have options, but this means when I go for the loop, I will be able to let them they get their Fallaji back, because yeah, my Leyline goes away, and now after I remove their graveyard, they get to mill again, probably get another card in their hand, and yeah. Okay, so that is definitely a small problem, and yeah, but I go for it. I have like I have another Plea in hand. I have Apprentice, and I first go for the Quintorious ability here, and Modok seems like they can't handle this thing. It's hard for them to play out entire combo. I did have another Carnosaur ability on the stack, so that is another trigger for the Quintorious. And then I minus the Quintorious -4, then I can also play Ardent Plea, and I can float the mana, 2 mana here. Even I can maybe try to cast a Geological Appraiser from my hand, and I have a bunch of permanents, so I won easily this one. Unfortunately, Modo doesn't let me show it, and I have to last game I went like the trophy match. I went the mulligan twice against Dimir Scam again. They had like my hand was terrible. They had the Grief Scam. They were playing first, so I didn't really have a chance that one, and there goes the trophy. Didn't get it, and I have to cut this video short. Can't show the last match because I'm in a bit hurry. Okay, so thank you for watching. This was like incredible league. 4 wins with this one, playing for trophy, but it wasn't meant to be. Didn't, yeah, had a pretty bad hands there, and yeah. Okay, so that is it. Thank you for watching. Click like, please click subscribe to support the channel. Comment in the video. I'm excited to hear other players' experience with this one. It's very fun to play. A lot of crazy stuff can happen even as early as turn 3, and it's like the best Quintorious version of combo, Quintorious combo version in Modern I played so far. I tried a bunch of these builds, and this one worked the best. It's not infinite Quintorious combo, but often it does a lot. Sometimes, of course, it doesn't do the thing, but that is the same deal when you play like a Glimpse in a lot of Glimpse builds. That is the thing with the deck. Sometimes you have too low permanents and you just go for it and don't get it. Sometimes you can even just win with the 3 permanents on the field immediately if you hit like a double Carnosaur or something like that. It's deck is like that. It's a bit luck dependent, but definitely has the thrill factor, and it's exciting to play, and it can get you definitely some free wins. So okay, that is it for today. Hope you like the deck, hope you like the gameplay. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.